Hi everyone, welcome to the Wholistic Hub. This is where I interview really cool people who are helping the collective and the community to heal in holistic ways. So, my guest today is the lovely Amanda, who's a complementary therapist. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you, Roshni.
Nice to have you on here.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Okay, so I'm going to go straight into it. And for the sake of our audience, I'm just going to let them know how we met. So I think it was 2022, where our lovely friend Tonya introduced me to you. She bought me a lovely gift package to have some therapy with you. And I had lots of stuff going on, like with my hip and my knee. And so I booked a session with you for Bowen Therapy. And I must say, I have had Bowen Therapy before, quite a few years ago. But each therapist has their own, unique way of supporting everyone, right? I was absolutely blown away by your session. It was so powerful that I ended up doing the introduction course with yourself this year. So I will let you introduce yourself properly to the audience.
Thank you, Roshni. So I'm Amanda Philipe-Savage, and for the past 30 years, I've been running a clinic as a mind, body, spirit practitioner, functional movement coach, and instructor. I offer aromatherapy, nutrition, Reiki, Kinesiology, and NAET, which is an allergy elimination technique for relieving physical and emotional symptoms. And as Roshan just said, I also offer Bowen Therapy, which is my primary therapy. And I teach this amazing technique through Bowen College UK to individuals and as a professional qualification. Having predominantly worked with clients who have trauma-related illnesses, I have also created my own emotional transformation program, which I use in my clinic one-to-one, as well as teaching it to groups of individuals and therapists. I've written numerous other courses and teach some at the Middlesex School of Complementary Medicine, as well as through my own practice. And in addition, just last month, I have started to volunteer as a complementary therapist at the Disability Foundation in Stanmore.
Wow, amazing, incredible. You've got so much under your belt, so much, so many gifts, so many gifts. So Amanda, how did you get into holistic healing?
Well, being a loyal fan of Quincy back in the day, I wanted to be a forensic pathologist. But in all seriousness, no, though I was already on the path of wanting to care for people when I was just about 5 years old. My grandmother had come to live with us, and I knew she was poorly, but not sure if I had been told at that time that she had stage 4 cancer. And I remember one day she fell over, and I took great care in cleaning and dressing her grazed knee. I seemed to know exactly what to do. I've always felt more than others and had a sense of how they're coping with life, especially my father, who experienced horrific atrocities and trauma during the war, although he didn't reveal any of this to me at the time until the end of his life. And I knew that he was heartbroken and that the reason for his take on life and trouble in his health in his senior years was the reason. My journey took me on a different path when I left school, though. I first started studying psychology and then law as a legal executive. And it wasn't until I considered starting a family that I knew traveling into the city wasn't sustainable. So I chose to retrain in complementary therapies. And that journey started in 1994.
Wow, amazing. So, you've been in the, let's say, holistic world for a long time. So, with what you do, the work that you do, what lights you up the most?
When a client finds a therapy with which they truly resonate, restore their well-being, and then ask me to teach them how to do it for themselves, their family, and friends.
Like I did. I've got to say, it is really magical. It is very, very magical. And I think and you teach it so well as well. I know when we did our course a couple of months ago, I wasn't even feeling well, but I did really well, didn't I?
Certainly did.
Because the teacher was very good.
Thank you.
So what would you say is your like, do you have a client situation or a wow moment, that's so profound that it just sits with you every time?
Absolutely. So when I was training as a Bowen therapist back in 2010, I was treating a 10-year-old boy weekly with Reiki to help regulate his nervous system after developing a neurological condition that involved episodes of unwanted and uncontrollable movements following a family trauma. And I already knew that Bowen was very effective at regulating the nervous system. So previously, this young boy had been very outgoing and a keen sports person, but became introverted and stopped participating in any activities, as well as developing these neurological habits. So I needed some bodies for my case studies, and I asked his mother if she'd be happy for him to take part in it, which she agreed. And the first Bowen treatment was a basic reboot, the one that you learnt, Roshni.
Yeah.
And the second included the pelvic procedure, where a lot of emotions are held. And the final one, it included the coccyx procedure to release trauma. The young boy was very composed as he left after the second appointment, but soon began to feel an emotional shift. And after the third treatment, he cried inconsolably for hours.
Wow.
Then, when he returned the following week, the majority of his symptoms and traits had cleared. So,
Amazing.
although this sounds very dramatic, a very dramatic post-treatment experience, it did a phenomenal justice to him. He continued to receive Bowen until all the symptoms had cleared and continued to return for maintenance when he felt he needed balancing. And now, 14 years on, he's graduated from King's College with a first in psychology.
Wow, incredible. And we're always told, um, I won't say from who, but we're always told that, oh, neurological problems can't be reversed and this can't be done and that can't be done. And this is a, pure example of what can be done, with intention and, without using Western medicine, right? So, and a disclaimer: neither of us are doctors, but it has to be said that holistic healing is really what we used years and years or centuries or eons ago, and it's coming back big time. So
Absolutely.
that's
It's
really amazing.
it's an amazing support mechanism, for any form of medicine. If you can regulate your nervous system, you can restore well-being.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. I love that. So, a lot of my clients, I've had themes going on with them, yeah. And recently it's been around forgiveness. Do you see a theme in your clients?
Well, forgiveness is very important in any practice. It doesn't matter where you are in life, you need to forgive both others and yourself. But with me, the without a doubt, trauma-related illness. This is seen predominantly after lockdown. This has become more prevalent with the experience of isolation, loss, financial hardship, anxiety associated with mental and physical well-being, and of course, the long COVID symptoms. We're coming out of a generation of stiff upper lips and take it on the chin or adapt and overcome. People are more in tune with their bodies and how their experiences affect their well-being. So it doesn't need to be a catastrophic experience. It could be a one-off event or a chronic exposure to a situation. It might even be a miraculous experience, such as a birth or a wedding or moving home. But
Mm.
in every situation I have mentioned here, change is the commonality. A loss of what was, a change to what is, a transition, and an adaptation to the new normal. We have to process all of this, not just what happened, but the effect it has had on our lives going forward. You can't undo it. When the bucket has become overloaded with experiences and changes you haven't processed, the body will make you stop and take note with the manifestation of something physical to contemplate. So when we heal the physical, the emotions are released,
Yeah,
and vice
absolutely.
versa.
I love that. I really love that. And you mentioned change, and I specifically remember, like when I was 4, I always get this inner child healing that keeps coming up, even though I've healed it so many times. Is that when I was 4, there was like 7 brothers and sisters, 7 of us, and my mum and dad. And in Africa, we were like told to leave, to uproot our home and move to England, which we didn't mind, but obviously we didn't know anyone and we didn't speak the language. And this was in the 70s. So, and we were so happy where we were because it was a hot country. We had everything set up. And there I was, 4-year-old, watching my parents and my siblings panic, 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 get on that plane, travel over here, settle down here. And that stayed in me. And that was a change. That was a big change. And when you have changes like that when you're 4, you can imagine what it does to you later on. And so it's a really good way that you put it about change. And change happens to us literally every day, right? And it's how we respond. We respond to it rather than react.
Absolutely. And it's not just your change that you respond to. It's the change that your siblings experience, it's the change that your parents experience, and so on. It has a knock-on effect all the way down the line because you're all in this together. You're all experiencing it as your own perception of what's happened that affects you, but you also receive that perception from everyone else around you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, if you had some advice for our audience, what would it be about anything to do with holistic healing? What would the advice be?
Absolutely don't wait until your bucket is full before you seek support.
Spot
There
on.
are so many ways of regulating the body now, either with a support of a complementary therapist or through self-help. By taking action early to process and balance change, and then consistently maintaining your physical and mental well-being, you'll always be at your best. If you leave things to fester, it won't be on your terms to find a remedial therapy.
So, so yeah, please, 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 if you have something going on, do something about it. Really good, strong message, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you so much. How do people get hold of you?
There are several ways to get hold of me. I have a website, Enjoy Better Health. On the website, you can find my email link or a telephone link as well. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn.
Brilliant. Excellent. Okay, so what I'll do is when this goes out next Monday, I will post all your links. So if anybody wants to contact you, they can do. Okay. So thank you so much, Amanda. It was absolutely lovely to have you on here. And I hope in the near future you could come on and tell us more about, go into more detail about the therapies that you do,
I'd
if
love to.
it's okay. Brilliant, excellent. So, thank you. Thank you to the Light and Spirituality community, and thank you to the audience watching. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.